So Easel Cabinetmaker is a really easy but also really powerful way that you can completely design kitchen cabinets and then send it to a CNC to cut out. But did you know it's not just limited to kitchen cabinets? In this video, I want to show you a few examples inside of the software where you can build a whole bunch of different things. And to get us started, let's talk about a place that you store things outside of your kitchen, and that is going to be inside a closet. All right, to start off, we are inside of Easel Cabinetmaker. I've got several different designs right here for some of the different storage solutions that I have been playing around with. And you can see I've just added a few notes with pictures as inspiration for some of the things that I have recreated. And like I just mentioned, we are going to start off with a closet solution. And you can see we've got our white closet cabinets right here. Now, Easel Cabinetmaker has everything split up by walls, and you can see we are just using the back wall. We are still using an upper and a lower, but if I click into this one, we are using the feature where you can do a vertical offset. So if I was to adjust this, you can see that cabinet is moving up. And so by doing the offset, I just drop this directly on top of the lower. And that's when we have an open cabinet on the top and then drawers on the bottom, and I can adjust that as needed. Now these inner three are actually single base cabinets. So if I click into this one, you can see that this one is going all the way up 74 3/4 of an inch. And initially it would have doors, but we took those off because we wanted everything to be open. And then you can go in and adjust the shelves as needed. And that one was just mirrored over here, and we have a slightly bigger one here in the middle. And whether you are just using single cabinets or an upper and a lower, you really can adjust the size on these to fit any closet size or room that you're working with. And then you can jump into your manufacturing tab, and then you can just create a cut list for the table saw or actually send it directly to the CNC. All right, next up, let's talk about built-in closets. So this is my example right here. So something that's actually pretty close to a kitchen cabinet, but just in a different space. So we're gonna go into that project right here. And you can see by using a combination of wall and base cabinets that we have everything set up here. Now we don't have the tabletop that spans across this, but just like with our normal kitchen cabinets, you've got the ability to adjust pretty much everything, including specifically with this one, I actually have face frames set up with this instead of frameless. And what's really nice with Cabinetmaker is not only do you get standard boxes, so if I was gonna go in here and add in another base cabinet, that has doors, you can see a new one gets added in right here. And it's giving me the dimensions of 18 by 34.5 by 24 inches, but you can actually go in and adjust these dimensions. I'm gonna go back out and delete that. And especially when you're doing these custom storage solutions, you're gonna wind up using those custom dimensions a good bit. Specifically with this one, we have a pretty skinny cabinet over here on the left with a door that is opening on the left side. This one's like only 9 inches. You can actually customize the doors a good bit. If I made this a little bit bigger, let's say 20 inches. And then I come over here to the front. I can actually have the number of doors change. So I can switch this to a swing in both directions, which will give me a double door. And another feature you'll wind up using is the ability to actually adjust these wall cabinets up and down the wall. First off, you can see we've got a much taller than standard cabinet at 50 inches versus like the 33 inches that your normal upper cabinet, stock cabinet will get added into as. But you can do a vertical offset. So we've moved this down 17 inches. This is basically giving us a gap where we can put the entire countertop and this just sets on top of it. But you can make this go all the way down to the cabinet if you'd rather do that. Or like you just saw with the closet shelves, you can just make this one big cabinet. And then it's also super easy to reorganize these cabinets as well. Let's say for whatever reason, you wanted this big guy to be right here in the middle. All you have to do is come up to the cabinet, and you can see that the color changes slightly so you know which one you are hovering over. You can click it and then drag it, and then you can reorganize your cabinet really quick. We can do the same thing down here as well, and we get some crazy looking stuff, but you're able to reorganize these really, really easily. All right, in addition to kitchens, bathroom renovations are going to be something that you're going to see quite a bit, and so custom bathroom vanities is also what you can make inside of Easel Cabinetmaker. So with this one, I actually have a toe kick set up on it, but I could remove the toe kick, and that is all going to be featured right over here. And then I could adjust the size of this if I wanted to actually place this on legs. But for now, I'm going to keep that toe kick. And then the side cabinets are just drawers where I've made every single drawer the same height. Then one special thing I did with this one is include face frames, but then coming down to the front options, I made sure those were inset instead of overlay. So we got something a little closer to that initial picture that we are looking at. Now the center guy, you can do a bunch of different ways. This is going to be for the sink. So one thing you could do is set the top panel not to stretchers, but to solid. So if the sink had some type of custom template that you needed to cut out, you'd have the material ready to do that. Or you could just do it like this, where I have a empty door cabinet that doesn't have any shelves inside that's going to give you plenty of room for the plumbing. Now, another way that you can do this is with a sink base cabinet. And this one's going to do something similar. If I turn the fronts off, you can see what's going on inside. You're going to have these doors right here. But this top part is actually a false front. So you're still going to get the effect of it looking like a typical base cabinet. But if you wanted one without that false front drawer, this is the way that you can do it as well. All right, next up is going to be a art table, but this could just be any type of standalone storage solution. So for me, I was using this large example of an art/craft cabinet that had that butcher block on top. So if I jump into it, this one is super simple because now we have island options. So you could create your typical kitchen and then you can have an island right here in the middle. You can just come up here to the top and make sure that you have one of the island options selected. If not, these are just going to show up on the different walls. But again, this one is super easy. We are just using the drawer cabinet. It's just been stretched out to a larger table surface. And then depending on how you want to attach the tabletop, you could be using stretchers or a solid top surface. All right, now let's walk through the steps to get this inside of Easel to where you can control it with a CNC. We're going to be using the bathroom vanity as an example. I'm going to jump over to the manufacturing tab. And here you can see we've got all of our cabinets selected. So you've got the ability to create cut lists or easel projects that might be dependent on specific cabinets. And then you can see we have a few different manufacturing methods. And for this, we're going to be using our CNC. And then you can define your parameters from there. At this point, we're going to go ahead and hit save. And this will create an entirely new cut list. And with this cut list, we can either hit carve right here. And if you have a machine connected, this will send it to the CNC. And if you have a machine connected, this will open it up inside of Easel. But if you don't have one connected, you can actually just export this cut list to Easel. That's this guy right here. We're going to export it. It's going to create a brand new project. And at this point, we are directly inside of Easel. And then you have all of your different panels here down at the bottom, and you're going to be able to customize them as needed. And then also because it's inside of Easel, you can do your normal customizations. So let's say we wanted to add a pattern into this panel. I've already created a quick demo in. It may not be sized exactly right, but you're going to get the idea. We're going to go ahead and center it. And then over here on the preview, you can now see we have that texture that we're going to use inside of the panel. And you pretty much can add whatever you want to all of these different panels, whether they're doors, text, symbols, patterns, all that kind of stuff that you normally would do inside of Easel. And speaking of that, you can do something a little bit more in depth to actually adding 3D carved panels to your finished storage solution. So maybe you want one of the inset panels for a door to be an American flag that is wavy, but also 3D carve. We have a full 3D carving workspace inside of Easel that you're going to be able to modify the dimensions and then carve out your custom pieces as needed. Or maybe you're adding some like molding embellishments that you want to do directly into a piece of hardwood. You get an option to do that as well. Now, one thing to keep in mind, this is a separate project than the imported panels and designs that you brought in from Cabinetmaker. So just like how we were doing this pattern earlier directly inside the project. And if I come down here, you can see here are all the different panels that I will be using. So unlike where right here, I could drop in one of the designs directly inside of Easel. If you're going to be doing 3D designs, just know that's going to be a separate project. So more than likely, you still will cut out the panel inside of here, but then you'll take it into a 3D project and then continue to refine it with whatever 3D design that you want to use. All right, if you are looking for more information and help, you can definitely check out our website, specifically the Easel Cabinetmaker section. And you can also jump into our support center under the help section, specifically Easel Cabinetmaker. And then finally, I encourage you guys to check out our community forum. The Easel team, as well as other Cabinetmaker users, are always posting things that they are working on, as well as questions that they may have had that are getting answered. So be sure and check that out as well. All right, can't wait to see what you guys make in the future, even if it's not a kitchen.